Welcome, the anointed ones. The moment before everything changes never looks powerful. It looks confusing, lonely, and badly timed. That's the part nobody warns you about. Movies skip it. Motivational speakers avoid it. Social media edits it out. But in real life, the final moment before a breakthrough doesn't arrive with fireworks or confidence. It arrives when things feel oddly off, when your life looks quieter on the outside but louder on the inside, and when nothing seems to be moving, yet everything is being rearranged behind the scenes. Here's a grounded fact most people never hear. Major psychological shifts always happen before external results show up. Studies on human behavior and habit formation show that internal rewiring precedes visible change by weeks or even months. Translation: when your inner world starts acting strange, when your reactions shift, when your tolerance drops, and when your priorities suddenly feel outdated, it's not a breakdown. It's evidence that the system is updating. The glitch comes right before the upgrade. And let's be honest for a second. This phase is awkward. You're not who you used to be, but you're not yet who you're becoming. You don't fit where you were, and you don't fully recognize where you're going. You start outgrowing conversations mid-sentence. You catch yourself agreeing just to end discussions faster. You laugh less at things that used to entertain you, and somehow your patience clock starts running on Nigerian time. Zero tolerance, immediate expiration. This is also the stage where nothing dramatic seems to be happening. Yet your spirit feels like it's packing bags without telling your mind. You're still showing up, still functioning, still doing what needs to be done. But internally, something has clocked out. You're present, but not invested. Committed, but detached. It's like staying in a group chat you mentally left 3 updates ago. That's why this moment confuses people. From the outside, it looks like stagnation. From the inside, it feels like pressure without explanation. And because it doesn't look impressive, people mislabel it as delay, failure, or laziness. But this is the final sign, the quiet, uncomfortable, slightly comedic phase where life clears its throat before speaking louder than ever. If you're paying attention, this isn't random, it's precise, it's surgical, it's the calm tension right before momentum kicks in. And once you recognize this phase for what it truly is, you stop panicking and start positioning. Because breakthroughs don't announce themselves. They prepare you first, often in ways that look nothing like success, and everything like this. Number 1, the support you expected disappears right when clarity arrives. This is one of the most unsettling moments in the entire process because it feels personal even when it isn't. Right when your mind becomes clear, right when you finally understand yourself, your path, and what you will no longer accept, the support you assumed would be there starts to thin out. Calls slow down, messages feel colder. People who once had opinions about your life suddenly have nothing to say, not because you're doing something wrong, but because clarity quietly changes power dynamics. When you were unsure, people felt useful. When you were confused, they had a role. Advice, opinions, interference, even criticism gave them relevance. The moment you stop wavering, that relevance disappears. And instead of celebrating your clarity, many people retreat. Some feel exposed, some feel unnecessary, some feel threatened. Clarity doesn't argue, doesn't over-explain, and doesn't ask for permission. It just moves differently. This is where many people panic and start doubting themselves. They mistake the absence of support for a sign they made the wrong choice. But what's really happening is separation. The breakthrough requires independence, and independence begins the moment external reassurance stops being available. This phase forces you to stand on what you know without witnesses, applause, or confirmation. There's also a deeper layer most don't talk about. Some people were never supporting you. They were supporting the version of you that needed them. When that version fades, so does their interest. It hurts, but it reveals the truth cleanly. Support tied to your confusion was never support at all. This stage feels lonely because it strips away noise. You start hearing yourself more clearly, even when you don't like what you hear. You stop outsourcing decisions. You stop checking emotional temperature before acting. And while the silence around you feels uncomfortable at first, it sharpens your focus. This is not abandonment, it's alignment. The breakthrough can't arrive while you're still leaning on voices that belong to an older version of you. So support fades, not to punish you, but to free you. What's coming next requires strength that only develops when you realize you were always capable of standing alone. Number 2, what once felt like purpose now feels heavy and restrictive. This is one of the most jarring signs that a breakthrough is imminent. The dreams, projects, and goals that once lit you up start to feel like chains. The same routines that gave you energy now drain it. The excitement you used to carry feels forced, and motivation begins to fade, not because you've lost your drive, but because your soul is signaling a shift. The purpose you thought defined you is no longer the right container for your growth. It served you, but it can no longer sustain you. At first, it's confusing. You look at your achievements and wonder why they don't make you happy anymore. Friends and family may see you as successful, yet internally you feel confined, like your energy is too big for the box you've been in. This weight is not punishment. It's a signal that the version of yourself that fit into that purpose has outgrown it. The breakthrough doesn't come by clinging harder to what used to work. It comes by letting go of the comfort and familiarity that now limits you. The heaviness is also a form of resistance testing. Life is asking if you're willing to abandon the known to step into the unknown. It's testing your courage and clarity. The tasks you once enjoyed might now feel pointless. The people you once relied on may no longer align with your rhythm. And the paths you once followed may now feel like detours. This tension is necessary because it forces a reckoning. Will you continue to live a safe, predictable version of yourself, or will you risk everything for what's actually meant for you? This stage is deceptive. From the outside, it may look like laziness, dissatisfaction, or even failure. From the inside, it's a quiet realignment, an internal pruning of what no longer belongs. The breakthrough is waiting on the other side of this discomfort. Once you accept that your old sense of purpose is a stepping stone, not a final destination, the heaviness lifts, energy returns in a purer form, and the clarity you've been craving finally has space to take root. This shift doesn't come gradually. It hits with a sense of inevitability, and when it does, it changes everything. Number 3, you stop explaining yourself, even when misunderstood. One of the clearest signs that a breakthrough is near is the sudden disappearance of the need to justify your choices, actions, or thoughts. You stop feeling compelled to clarify, defend, or rationalize yourself to anyone, even when people misunderstand you completely. This isn't arrogance or indifference. It's a profound internal shift. It's the moment when your energy aligns with your truth so strongly that external validation becomes irrelevant. The people who matter will see it. The rest will have to catch up or step aside. Before this phase, you might have spent years explaining why you acted a certain way, why you took a particular path, or why your dreams didn't match conventional expectations. Every opinion, critique, or skepticism felt like a weight on your shoulders, pulling you toward arguments, justifications, or approvals you didn't really need. The breakthrough begins the moment you realize explanations don't create understanding. They never did. People only understand when they're ready, not when you try harder. This stage is simultaneously freeing and uncomfortable. Freedom comes from recognizing that your energy is too valuable to waste on proving yourself. Uncomfort comes from noticing the reactions of others, frustration, confusion, even offense. because your silence exposes their reliance on your performance for their own sense of control. When you stop explaining, you inadvertently force people to confront the reality of who you've become. The brilliance of this phase is that it shifts your focus entirely inward. Your time, your energy, and your attention are no longer siphoned away by defensiveness or appeasement. Every decision you make becomes more intuitive, more aligned, and sharper. You're no longer negotiating your worth or your direction with outsiders. You move decisively, silently, and confidently, even if the world misreads your silence as weakness. This moment is critical because it signals maturity of purpose. The breakthrough doesn't come when everyone agrees with you. It comes when you stop caring whether they do. It comes when your clarity, focus, and energy demand that the world adjust to you rather than the other way around. This is the calm, powerful phase where momentum begins without announcements, explanations, or apologies. And it's precisely here that the breakthrough is already preparing to arrive. Number 4, familiar environments begin to irritate your spirit. One of the most undeniable signs that a breakthrough is on the horizon is the sudden discomfort you feel in places, spaces, and situations that used to feel normal or comfortable. Your home, your workplace, your social circles, even the routines you once loved start to feel suffocating. The people, the energy, the chatter, everything seems off, as if your spirit is quietly saying, "This no longer belongs to me." This irritation is not frustration or moodiness. It's a subtle internal alarm, letting you know that what once contained you is no longer capable of supporting your growth. You begin to notice how heavy the old environments feel, how stagnant the air is, and how repetitive interactions no longer inspire but exhaust. Things that once seemed neutral suddenly become loud, draining, or even chaotic. The environment doesn't change, but you do. Your perception shifts. What you once accepted without thought now triggers unease, because your energy is being upgraded faster than the space around you can keep up. The breakthrough can't occur in a place that can't handle the frequency of your new self. This phase is disorienting because it creates tension. You're not actively seeking to escape, but staying feels impossible. You might catch yourself zoning out, counting minutes until you leave, or feeling restless when surrounded by familiar faces. Even people who are well-meaning or supportive can suddenly feel off, because they operate at a different vibration than the one you are stepping into. Your soul doesn't reject them, it rejects the outdated energy that has shaped your old version. The subtle genius of this stage is that it pushes you toward necessary change without forcing it violently. It primes you to recognize that the next level requires new containers, new environments, and new relationships. Comfort, in this case, is the enemy of progress. The breakthrough won't come where stagnation is disguised as safety. The irritation you feel is a sign of realignment, a quiet but insistent nudge that the old world is done with you and the new one is ready, but only if you're willing to move. Your spirit finally is demanding room to expand. Number 5, you notice patterns you once defended now disgust you. One of the most unsettling signs that a breakthrough is approaching is the sudden, almost visceral recognition of patterns you once ignored, excused, or even embraced. The habits, behaviors, and dynamics you tolerated before now feel toxic, unnecessary, or downright harmful. It's as if your soul suddenly woke up and started scanning your life for what no longer serves you, and the results are uncomfortable, even shocking. What you once defended out of loyalty, fear, or habit now triggers a deep sense of disgust, not just at others, but sometimes at yourself for having tolerated it for so long. This stage hits hard because it forces brutal honesty. You can no longer rationalize dysfunction as normal. The excuses that once sounded reasonable now sound weak and hollow. Patterns of manipulation, laziness, emotional immaturity, or even self-sabotage suddenly stand out in high definition. The people, routines, and systems you relied on before start to feel incompatible with who you are becoming. This disgust isn't about judgment, it's about recognition. It's your inner alignment demanding recalibration, signaling that your energy can no longer be diluted by what you once accepted. The awakening is relentless. Even moments that used to feel comfortable now feel restrictive. Conversations you once found tolerable feel draining. Repetitive cycles you once ignored now stand as glaring red flags. This is the body, mind, and spirit working together to prepare you for a higher state of existence. The breakthrough doesn't wait for comfort or consensus. It waits for recognition of truth. This stage also sharpens your discernment. People and situations that once blended into the background now stand out with clarity. Your instincts, once muted by habit and fear, now operate like a precision instrument, highlighting what is aligned and what is toxic. Disgust here is not weakness, it's a filter. It clears the space for what's real, what's necessary, and what belongs in the life you are about to fully step into. The breakthrough is imminent, but it requires shedding what you once protected, no matter how familiar or convenient it seemed. Number 6, you feel pressure to move, but no clear instructions yet. One of the most intense and unmistakable signs that a breakthrough is near is the tension of movement without direction. You feel an internal pressure, a restless energy pushing you forward, but the steps aren't clear. Your mind is aware that something has to change, that a shift is necessary, but the path feels invisible. This isn't confusion, it's preparation. The universe, life, or whatever force is orchestrating your breakthrough is forcing you to trust your instincts before giving you the map. At first, this phase feels frustrating. You're used to having instructions, guides, or checkpoints. You want clarity, validation, reassurance, proof that moving in a certain way will yield the right results. Instead, all you have is the push, the momentum building in your chest, urging you to act without consent from logic or certainty. It's like being told to run before you can see where the finish line is. Every part of you knows that inaction is no longer an option, yet every instinct you've relied on before seems insufficient. This stage is a masterclass in trust. The pressure you feel is not arbitrary, it's the build-up before the breakthrough. The energy-demanding movement is a signal that you've been conditioned for this exact moment. You may stumble, misstep, or take routes that feel wrong, but each misstep is a test, each hesitation a lesson in patience and precision. The breakthrough cannot arrive while you are waiting for the perfect instruction. It only comes when you learn to act decisively with the information available in the moment. The brilliance of this stage is in its discomfort. It stretches your resilience, sharpens your intuition, and forces you to rely on yourself before the external world catches up. The pressure you feel is a call to evolve. Your body, mind, and spirit are aligned, but the path will reveal itself only as you move. The breakthrough is close, and this tension is proof that your internal systems are already preparing you. The clarity you crave is emerging, but it requires you to step before seeing, to trust before knowing, and to act before being told. Number 7, people project their fears onto you more aggressively. As the breakthrough approaches, one of the most revealing and challenging signs is the way people around you begin to mirror their fears through you. Suddenly, friends, family, and colleagues who once seemed steady or neutral start behaving unpredictably, reacting in ways that feel disproportionate to your actions. Their discomfort isn't about what you're doing, it's about what your clarity and progress represent. They see in you a reflection of their own limitations, insecurities, and unaddressed fears, and instead of facing them, they push them outward onto you. This projection can be subtle or intense. Sometimes it shows up as passive-aggressive comments, criticism, or undermining. Other times it's more overt, jealousy, anger, or attempts to control or redirect your energy. It can feel confusing because their reactions often don't align with reality. They argue about things that don't matter, object to moves that make sense, or question your choices without reason. The pattern is unmistakable. Your growth triggers their fear, and their fear manifests as pressure on you. The brilliance of this phase lies in its clarity. It separates who is truly aligned with your path from those who are attached to the version of you that was limited, dependent, or uncertain. It exposes relationships that were conditional, friendships built on convenience, and environments that tolerated your growth only so far. The breakthrough requires that you no longer carry the emotional baggage of those unwilling or unable to accept your evolution. Experiencing this projection is uncomfortable because it forces you to become emotionally independent. You can't appease or control their reactions. You can't explain, negotiate, or smooth over their fear. Instead, you must stand firm, hold your boundaries, and continue moving forward regardless of the discomfort being cast your way. This stage is crucial because it teaches resilience, sharpens discernment, and accelerates the clarity that the breakthrough depends on. Their fear is loud, but your purpose is louder, and recognizing that distinction is what positions you to step fully into the next level of your life. Number 8, you start grieving versions of yourself that no longer fit. One of the most profound signs that a breakthrough is on the horizon is the quiet, often surprising grief over who you used to be. It isn't about mourning someone else's loss. It's about acknowledging that the version of yourself that carried you through certain seasons is no longer sustainable. The habits, the mindset, the compromises, and even the protective walls you built to survive now feel heavy, outdated, or irrelevant. You recognize that the old you served a purpose, but that purpose has expired, and letting go is painful, even when necessary. This grief is subtle but relentless. You may feel nostalgia for past choices, regrets for missed opportunities, or guilt for shedding relationships, routines, and beliefs that once defined you. Even the parts of yourself you were proud of can feel like foreign territory now. The traits that once made life manageable, the tolerance for dysfunction, the need to please, the compromises you accepted, suddenly feel like shackles. There's a quiet mourning for the safety, predictability, and identity that no longer align with who you're becoming. The beauty of this phase is that it's preparation. Breakthroughs demand emotional release. They require that the old be fully acknowledged, processed, and released before the new can step in. The grief signals that transformation is occurring at a level deeper than achievements or external change. It's reshaping your internal identity. You're learning to stand without crutches, to operate without old scripts, and to trust in the unknown version of yourself that is emerging. This stage is disorienting because it blends loss with liberation. You mourn the familiar, yet you feel a pull towards something greater, something more aligned. Each pang of nostalgia, each flicker of regret, is evidence that the breakthrough is near. It's pruning what no longer serves, so that the new you can expand without restriction. Grieving these past versions isn't weakness. It's a declaration that you're willing to evolve fully, even when it means leaving pieces of yourself behind forever. Number 9, your tolerance for dysfunction drops to 0. As a breakthrough approaches, one of the most unmistakable signs is how sharply your tolerance for dysfunction diminishes. Things that used to slide, people's excuses, repeated drama, passive-aggressive behavior, or chaotic environments, suddenly feel intolerable. You no longer have patience for patterns that drain your energy or compromise your clarity. It's not about judgment, it's about alignment. Your inner frequency is shifting, and anything misaligned with your growth becomes loud, irritating, and impossible to ignore. This shift is disorienting at first because it changes how you interact with the world. Situations that once seemed manageable now trigger discomfort, irritation, or outright disengagement. People who relied on your tolerance may feel blindsided, but your reaction isn't aggression, it's clarity. The breakthrough requires that you no longer expend energy on what doesn't serve you. Drama, inconsistency, and manipulation are no longer negotiable. Your boundaries become precise, and your energy becomes a measure of who or what can exist in your space. The drop in tolerance also reveals hidden truths. You start noticing relationships and environments that were previously invisible in their toxicity or inefficiency. The repeated cycles, subtle betrayals, or ongoing excuses that you tolerated are suddenly glaring. This is an essential part of the process because growth cannot occur where dysfunction is normalized. Your heightened sensitivity is a filter, separating energy that aligns with your evolution from energy that hinders it. This phase is liberating but uncomfortable. You feel a surge of independence, clarity, and decisiveness, yet others may resist the change in you. They may label you as harsh, difficult, or unapproachable, but that's a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. The breakthrough cannot arrive while you are compromised by old tolerances. You are being trained to prioritize your energy, protect your boundaries, and move forward without compromise. The zero-tolerance mindset is the signal that your system is ready for the next level, that your spirit is no longer willing to carry what doesn't belong, and that everything misaligned will fall away in preparation for your elevation. Number 10. Opportunities begin to appear disguised as disruptions. One of the most fascinating signs that a breakthrough is approaching is how opportunities start showing up in forms that feel uncomfortable, inconvenient, or even chaotic. Things fall apart in ways that seem frustrating at first. Plans derail, doors close suddenly, people act unpredictably. But beneath the surface, these disruptions are not random. They are carefully aligned triggers designed to push you into your next phase. What feels like chaos is actually a redirection, a hidden pathway leading you toward what you're meant to step into. At first, this phase feels disorienting. You see doors closing, projects stalling, or relationships shifting, and your mind instinctively asks why. Logic wants linear progress, but breakthroughs don't operate on linear schedules. They operate on precise alignment. The disruptions are the universe's way of removing what slows you down, what distracts you, or what would keep you stuck in the old version of yourself. Every inconvenience, delay, or unexpected change is actually creating space for something larger, more fitting, and more powerful to enter. The brilliance of this stage is in the subtlety. You might not recognize the opportunity immediately. It often comes dressed as difficulty, disguised as a setback, or wrapped in discomfort. This is intentional because a breakthrough requires discernment, patience, and the ability to move without perfect clarity. The disruptions test your resilience, sharpen your intuition, and prepare you for the level of commitment the opportunity demands. Eventually, the patterns reveal themselves. What once seemed like chaos now shows the structure beneath it. Missed chances, closed doors, and unexpected delays were never punishments. They were a filter, removing what wasn't meant to be in your path. The breakthrough doesn't arrive neatly. It arrives through the breakdown of the old, the clearing of misaligned energy, and the subtle redirection toward what is actually yours. Recognizing that disruptions are disguised opportunities is a key turning point. It's when you start to trust the process, move decisively despite uncertainty, and realize that every shift, every inconvenience, and every disruption is actually a signal that the breakthrough is closer than it seems. Number 11. You feel strangely calm about things that once terrified you. One of the most profound indicators that a breakthrough is imminent is the sense of calm that begins to settle in, even when facing situations that would have once caused panic, anxiety, or obsessive worry, things that used to keep you up at night, stress you out, or make your heart race no longer carry the same weight. This isn't because the risks or challenges have disappeared, they're still there, but your internal framework has shifted. Your perspective, resilience, and sense of alignment have strengthened to the point that fear no longer dictates your actions. This calm feels almost unnatural at first. You notice yourself handling uncertainty without the familiar tension or the constant need for reassurance. Deadlines, conflicts, or critical decisions that once caused emotional turbulence now feel manageable. The nervous energy that previously dominated your response has quieted, replaced by a steady, grounded awareness. It's as if your system finally understands that panic never solves problems, but clarity does. The breakthrough is closely tied to this change, because moving through fear with composure allows you to take the precise actions required without hesitation or overcomplication. This phase also signals a deeper trust in yourself, in your timing, and in the process that is unfolding around you. You begin to realize that what once terrified you was mostly a projection of your own doubt and insecurity. That energy dissipates, leaving a calm authority in its place. You act decisively because fear no longer clouds judgment. Decisions that used to feel paralyzing now feel like natural steps. The world may still react unpredictably, and situations may remain intense, but your internal state has become a stable point from which you can navigate challenges effectively. This calm is deceptively powerful. Others may mistake it for passivity or indifference, but it is the hallmark of someone on the verge of a major breakthrough. It's a quiet signal that your system has evolved, that fear no longer controls your narrative, and that you are ready to step fully into your next level. The breakthrough doesn't happen in panic. It happens in this calm clarity, where action is deliberate, focused, and unstoppable. Number 12, your intuition becomes blunt and unapologetic. As a breakthrough approaches, one of the most unmistakable signs is the way your intuition shifts. It stops whispering politely in the background and starts speaking in a direct, uncompromising voice. Decisions that once required endless deliberation, second-guessing, or outside validation now come to you with clarity and immediacy. Your inner guidance no longer asks for permission, it commands. This isn't a sudden magical ability, it's the result of everything you've been through refining your internal compass. Your instincts have been tested, challenged, and sharpened, and now they cut straight through noise, distraction, and doubt. This stage can feel startling, even uncomfortable at first. You begin to notice yourself acting on impulses that feel risky or unconventional, yet perfectly aligned. Your mind may question them for a moment, but your body and spirit already know the path. The bluntness of your intuition reveals truths you may have avoided or denied before. Situations, people, and opportunities are suddenly transparent. You can sense motives, energy, and alignment with astonishing accuracy. It's as if the filters that once clouded your perception have lifted, leaving only what is essential and real. The unapologetic nature of this intuition is crucial. You no longer bend it to fit the expectations of others, societal norms, or comfort zones. It is direct because your breakthrough requires precision, decisiveness, and uncompromising alignment. Indecision and compromise are luxury you can no longer afford. Every action, pause, and choice becomes a reflection of this heightened internal clarity. This phase also teaches courage. Listening to intuition in such a blunt, unapologetic way often challenges relationships, routines, and previously trusted paths. Others may resist or question your choices, but the breakthrough depends on you trusting what you feel without justification. Your instincts are no longer gentle suggestions, they are a roadmap. Acting on them signals that the shift is no longer theoretical. It is real, imminent, and unstoppable. The clarity and authority your intuition provides is the silent engine propelling you into the breakthrough that has been quietly building within you all along. Number 13. You realize you've already survived the worst part. One of the most powerful signs that a breakthrough is imminent is the sudden clarity that the hardest battles, the deepest pain, and the most relentless challenges are already behind you. The weight that once felt unbearable has already been carried, and the survival, endurance, and resilience you cultivated through those trials have been quietly preparing you for what's next. You start to see that every moment of struggle, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt or fear was not a detour or punishment. It was training. The realization hits with an almost shocking intensity. The worst has already been endured, and what remains is growth, expansion, and opportunity. This understanding is both humbling and liberating. You recognize the fortitude you've developed, the lessons you've absorbed, and the strength you've carried silently. The pain that once threatened to define you is no longer a threat, it's a foundation. That foundation doesn't just support you, it elevates you. You see yourself differently because the survival itself has transformed you, giving you skills, awareness, and resilience that most people only acquire after repeated failure. The breakthrough isn't coming to rescue you. It's arriving because you're already ready, forged through fire, tested, and proven by circumstances that would have broken many others. This stage also brings a sense of calm authority. You stop fearing what's next because you've already walked through storms far more intense than anything on the horizon. Decisions, challenges, and uncertainties no longer intimidate you. They feel like natural tests of the strength you've already demonstrated. Your confidence isn't loud or boastful. It's quiet, grounded, and absolute. Recognizing that you've survived the worst part changes the way you move through life. You act with decisiveness, trust, and courage, knowing that failure, pain, or loss cannot catch you off guard in the same way again. The breakthrough is not an external event. It's the natural consequence of all that you've already endured. The world may still shift, challenges may appear, but internally, you know the foundation is solid, and the next level is ready to receive you, because you've already survived everything that truly mattered. Number 14. You no longer feel the need to announce what's coming next. One of the most profound signs that a breakthrough is imminent is the sudden silence about your own trajectory. You stop feeling the urge to explain, justify, or broadcast your next moves. The excitement, the achievements, the growth, it all becomes internal, quiet, and deliberate. This isn't arrogance or secrecy, it's clarity. You have reached a point where external approval, recognition, or validation is irrelevant. The breakthrough doesn't require witnesses. It doesn't need applause. It only requires that you move with precision, focus, and alignment. This stage is both subtle and striking. You notice that the conversations that once revolved around what you were planning or achieving have faded. You no longer feel compelled to tease possibilities, hint at intentions, or seek attention for what you know is coming. Your energy is conserved, concentrated, and protected because you understand that the world reacts before it is ready to comprehend. Announcing too early often invites interference, doubt, or resistance, and your breakthrough is too significant to risk dilution. The shift also reflects a deeper trust in timing and process. You've lived long enough to see that movement does not need fanfare. Results speak louder than explanations. Progress is self-evident when it is real. By moving silently, you harness the full power of momentum without the distractions of outside opinions or interruptions. Every action becomes intentional, every step strategic, and every decision guided by internal alignment rather than external expectation. There is a hidden power in this quiet confidence. Others may underestimate you, dismiss your potential, or question your path, but their reactions no longer disturb you. You operate beyond the need for their comprehension. The breakthrough is not about convincing the world. It is about stepping fully into the reality that has been quietly preparing for you all along. Silence in this context is not absence. It is authority, clarity, and inevitability. When you no longer need to announce your moves, it is because your next level is already in motion, and nothing in the outside world can stop what is already unfolding. The journey to a breakthrough is rarely flashy, obvious, or easy to recognize. It doesn't arrive with fanfare or a neon sign. It comes quietly, often disguised in discomfort, tension, and moments that feel confusing or isolating. Each stage, each shift, each subtle internal adjustment is part of a carefully orchestrated process designed to prepare you for the next level of your life. From the fading of support just as clarity arrives, to the sudden disgust at patterns you once tolerated, to the blunt, unapologetic guidance of your intuition, every sign is a signal that your system is aligning for something far greater than the old you could have imagined. You've endured pressure without instructions. You've survived the challenges that once seemed impossible, and you've let go of old versions of yourself that no longer serve your growth. Your calm in the face of fear, your precision in action, and your refusal to explain or announce what is coming next are not coincidences. They are proof that your breakthrough is already underway. The discomfort, the irritations, the disruptions, and even the projections of others' fears are not obstacles. They are confirmations. They are the universe clearing the way, pruning what no longer belongs, and sharpening your focus for the life that has been quietly waiting for you. This is your moment to recognize that the breakthrough isn't coming to you from the outside. It is emerging from within. Every sign, every internal shift, every pang of resistance or unease is evidence that you are being equipped to step fully into a version of your life that matches your clarity, strength, and purpose. The energy around you, the changes within you, and the alignment of your intuition are all pointing to the inevitable. You are ready, prepared, and capable of stepping into your next level with confidence and authority. If this message resonates with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights that guide you through these pivotal moments. Like this video to reinforce your awareness of these breakthrough signals. Comment below with your own experiences and reflections so we can continue this journey together. Share this with someone who needs to recognize these signs in their own life. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, and it's time to move with clarity, focus, and unstoppable energy. God bless you.